All right, shall we call the meeting to order and rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we start tonight, I would like to thank Public Works for the great job they did with snow preparation and snow removal. So thank you for that, guys. Great job. The next item would be to elect the following council positions: President, Vice President, and Council Treasurer.
I nominate William Whiteside as Council President, Sean Wade as Council Vice President, and Eric Glemser as Council Treasurer.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next would be, want to have a moment of silence for the passing of U.S. President Jimmy Carter and for the victims killed in the terror attack in New Orleans. All right. Next item will be opportunity for questions or comments from the public. Do we have any questions or comments?
I had a note. I also wanted to thank Public Works, but I also saw a Horsham Water Sewer Authority truck out with a plow and saw them shoveling in front of the water towers. School district personnel, our very own Eric Glemser, who did some plowing this morning, and I saw the police making sure that folks were hopefully following a safe speed. On our way here, I saw some police headed down Horsham Road with lights, so I do hope that everyone stays safe tonight if the roads are slippery leaving. Thank you.
Thank you for that. The reality is we do a way better job than most surrounding municipalities. So again, thank you for that. Next, we have to appoint a voting delegate and alternate to PSATs for the convention on May 4th through 7th. Start with who's going to PSATs.
I believe Mr. Whiteside and Mr. Glemser are attending.
I was going to go with the
That's
nomination.
fine, go ahead.
I nominate William Whiteside to be the voting delegate and Eric Glemser as the alternate to the Pennsylvania State Association of Township Supervisors of the second class.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next, we have to establish and advertise the meeting schedule for 2025. Bill, do you have any comments on that?
It's following, as we always have, is the second Wednesday, 7 o'clock your agenda meeting, 8 o'clock your public meeting, the fourth Monday at 7 o'clock. The only difference is in May, there is not a fourth Monday scheduled because of Memorial Day, and in September, there's not a fourth Monday scheduled because of Rosh Hashanah holiday.
All right. Do we have a motion?
I move,
Sorry. Go ahead.
I move to adopt the list as proposed as the meeting schedule for 2025.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next, we need to consider the following board appointments. And we have a whole list of them.
May I make
go
ahead.
Sorry.
May I make a comment before we vote for this?
Absolutely.
I wanted to note I plan to abstain from the vote on the appointments to our boards and commissions, and I would like to give clarity for any members of the public. I've expressed in the past and will continue in the future that my goal in representing voters here in Horsham is to ensure that residents have the opportunity to be a part of the process. And we have, again, overlooked many interested candidates. This year I focused specifically on vacant seats rather than reappointments to boards and commissions, and reached out to each of my fellow council members with the data to date of how many residents have expressed interest in these roles. Since 2019, for Planning Commission, we've received 9 interested parties. For the Parks and Rec Boards, we've received 17 inquiries. For the Industrial and Commercial Development Authority, we've received 8 resumes from residents. And for the MIRIA, our Military Installation Remediation and Infrastructure Authority, we have received 5 communications from individuals hoping to serve the community. Instead of considering those who have expressed interest dating back to 2020, we are tonight planning to appoint 6 individuals who have all reached out within the last week and a half. I will continue to work to get every Horsham resident a seat at the table who has expressed a willingness and interest in serving our community. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. Do we have a motion?
I nominate Anthony Spangler to a one-year appointment to the Vacancy Board. I further move to nominate David McCullough to a four-year appointment to the Planning Commission. I further move to nominate Steve Quigley to a four-year appointment to the Planning Commission. I further move to appoint Milton Kuntz to a three-year appointment to the Planning Commission. I further move to nominate John Hartmeyer to a five-year appointment to the Horsham Water and Sewer Authority. I further move to nominate Alan Presley to a five-year appointment to the Horsham Water and Sewer Authority. I further move to nominate Patrick Leitzel to a five-year appointment to the Park and Recreation Board. I further move to nominate Colin Johnson to a one-year appointment to the Park and Recreation Board. I further move to nominate Chris Weinrich to a four-year appointment to the Police Pension Advisory Board. I further move to nominate Janad Chaudhry to a five-year appointment to the Horsham Industrial and Commercial Development Authority, and further move to nominate Ashley Biondo to a three-year appointment to the Zoning Hearing Board.
I nominate Joanne Congilio to a five-year appointment of the Environmental Advisory Board. I further move Tom Southard to a five-year appointment to the Historical Advisory Commission. I nominate Marie Clark to a three-year appointment to the Library Board of Directors. I nominate Cindy Weinrich to a three-year appointment to the Library Board of Directors. I nominate Joe Wade to a five-year appointment to the Horsham Land Redevelopment Authority. I nominate William Halston to a five-year appointment to the UCC Board of Appeals. I nominate Tom Leopold to a five-year appointment to the UCC Board of Appeals. I nominate Sam Van Horn to a five-year appointment of the UCC Board of Appeals. I nominate Todd Stevens to a five-year appointment to the Military Installation, Remediation, and Infrastructure Authority. I nominate William Whiteside to a five-year appointment to the Military Installation, Remediation, and Infrastructure Authority. And I nominate Anthony Spangler to a one-year appointment to the Military Installation, Remediation, and Infrastructure Authority.
Is there a second? And I'll second that.
Before we get to the roll call vote, I would just like to say that when I ran for council in 2023, my main platform was representation. I ran so that everyone in the township, regardless of political affiliation, could have a voice in the township and an opportunity to serve and shape our wonderful community. At the time, it had been my feeling that community members would not be appointed if their voter registration status didn't match with council majority. Now, as a sitting council member, I have witnessed this to be the case firsthand. As council votes to appoint vacant positions across the boards and commissions, I would like to say that I'm disappointed in the partisan position council majority continues to take. We have numerous community members who over the years have been expressing interest of getting involved and shaping our community, but council majority will not even consider them if they are not friends, acquaintances, or have the aligning political party. I disagree with the political game being played with these appointments by the council majority, and for that reason, I will be voting against these appointments. Thank you.
All right. This is a voice vote. So all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Okay. The ayes have it. Next, we need to consider a records disposition resolution. Bill?
This is something we see at each organizational meeting. It's for us to dispose of township records per state law. We adopted state law in 2009, and we follow by the state law with all of our records. So this resolution has been updated, and it helps us clean out some of our files in our archives. So it's for your consideration this evening.
Do we have a motion?
I move to adopt the resolution as proposed, authorizing the disposition of records.
Second.
Seconded. This is a roll call vote.
Mr. Glenser, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Slaff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Wade, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Chunky, how do you vote?
Aye.
And Mr. Whiteside, how do you vote?
I vote aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Next is for the auditors. We need to consider the appointment of auditors for the 2024 records.
So in your meeting packet is the proposal from B. Bergfall and Company in the amount of $28,500 to do our 2024 financials.
Before we move, what was the rate last year? Sorry, if you know.
That's okay. I don't know off the top of my head. It was close.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Was that in our meeting? Sorry, we had a meeting where we went through some fees from last year and fees for this year. That was in that packet?
Fees, not,
It was a paper copy. We don't have it here.
no, I don't think.
But it's close. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's not much higher than last year.
I move to appoint B. and Bergwall, the township auditors for the 2024 financial records in accordance with their proposal dated October 17th, 2024.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next, we need to establish amount of performance and fidelity bond for the Director of Finance in her capacity as tax collector for the township.
So we are looking at bringing in $4,852,500 in real estate taxes. So that would be the bond coverage for our tax collector.
We have a motion.
I move to establish $4,852,500 as the amount of the tax collector's bond for Susan Zepp in her capacity as the tax collector.
Second.
Seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next would be to consider a resolution appointing various institutions as depositories of the township accounts and also authorizing various institutions as depositories for investment purposes.
The only changes in this resolution, as you know, our main accounts are with Key Bank and Pliget. That's not changing. In our investments, we've added Victory Bank, so that will be a new bank. What we do is make sure that every financial institution and bank in Horsham is on the list. They're not open yet, but they're moving in at Gibraltar and Blair Mill Road, the bank at that location. So we added Victory Bank to our investment list. We also added in our Pliget, we established a solar fund. And that fund is where expenses and revenues regarding our solar energy will come and go. And the other addition is we added our Assistant Director of Finance, Mary Ann Holtz. As we all know, Suzette will be retiring at the end of this year. So as we transition Mary Ann into Sue's job, we added her so she can be more involved with the financing and banking.
I move to adopt the resolution as proposed, appointing the various institutions as depositories for the township accounts and investment opportunities.
Second. Second.
Seconded. This is a roll call vote.
Mr. Glemster, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Laff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Wade, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Chunky, how do you vote?
Aye.
And Mr. Whiteside, how do you vote?
I vote aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Next is to consider a resolution revising the township's fee schedule.
There's some minor changes, not many. One is that we'll get credit card payment. So we're offering this year in the first quarter, we're offering more ways for people to use their credit cards for payments and fees. So that's in addition to the fee schedule. We also took out library late fees, so there are no more library late fees. The other things are pickleball. So pickleball went up slightly for registration. That does not affect registration. We also added in from our subdivision and land development ordinance, our fees for outfall storm sewer fees for new land developments, as well as the contribution towards parks. We added them into the resolution. It's a lot easier for council to change fees by resolution than by ordinance. So we moved them from ordinance into the fee schedule resolution, if you so choose to increase them in the future. For the most part, I think that's it.
Quick question, for anything where we are now accepting credit cards where we didn't used to, do we add on any processing fee, to cover the amount that we would be charged by the credit card company?
Yes, we do.
Okay,
Yep,
perfect.
and that's in the fee resolution.
Okay, thank you.
I move to adopt the resolution as proposed, amending the township's fee schedule.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. This is a roll call vote.
Mr. Glemster, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Laff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Wade, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Chunky, how do you vote?
Aye.
And Mr. Whiteside, how do you vote?
I vote aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Next, I need to announce that the signatures for township accounts are as follows. All accounts other than payroll require the signature of two of the following: president or treasurer, and manager or director of finance or assistant director of finance. Payroll accounts require the signature of the manager or the director of finance or assistant director of finance. With that, I'd also like to announce that our next meeting is Wednesday, January the 8th in this auditorium. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.